Hey, Richard Beach here from SonicState.com, and right now I'm at the Jammit booth in the App Pavilion at NAMM 2013. And I first saw Jammit personally a couple of years ago at NAMM 2011, I think. So what changes have been made since then? I know that's a massively long period of time, but what sort of direction have you been taking it in?
Well, the application has changed a little bit. We've added some special new features. We've added a video capture, which I can actually demonstrate that right now. So now you can actually show yourself while you're playing the song. Okay. It's really cool if you want to show it to your bandmates or your guitar teacher. You can show your posture if you're playing up here and you're playing wrong, and he can tell you. We've also added a guitar tuner that actually works in conjunction with the song you're on. So if you're in a weird tuning song, it'll actually show you how to tune to that.
Oh,
so it makes it really easy to just get going. Yeah. Another big one was the Line 6 mobile in. So it looks like it's one of these little guys. I can actually show you. And what you do is you plug your guitar into this, and you'll actually have the authentic guitar tone that matches the song. So this is really cool. It works with the iPad, and those are 3 new features. Other than that, we work on the content all the time. We're always releasing tracks. So every week we usually release a Dream Theater song on Dream Theater. We call them Dream Theater Thursdays. But we release songs pretty much every week, and we just kind of keep pumping out the content as much as we can.
So for those who are new to Jammit, then the concept really is that you get multi-tracks of songs. You can turn things up and down, you can mute things, you can play along at the right tempo, you can slow down the tempo, play along, slow down. Is there anything I'm missing? Any more stuff?
You pretty much nailed all of them there. Cool. It makes it easy. You can hear all those little nuances that you can't really hear with the whole mix.
Yep.
So if, for instance, you just fade the band down and then you listen to the guitar, you can hear all those little things that Alex Lifeson does, and you can basically loop it, get it down to a science basically, and then take him out, and now you're the guitarist for Rush.
Right. So how many songs are in the catalog then at the moment?
Right now we have a couple hundred, and we're always adding to it. Specifically, I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but we're always working on new songs. But we have a couple hundred right now.
And give us a rough idea of what artists you're covering.
Right now, Dream Theater's a big one. We have Yes.
Yeah.
We have some newer artists as well. We have the new Rush, a couple new Rush songs off Clockwork, the new album. Some of the other artists that we're working with. We have some stuff from the 80s as well, so we have like Dawkins, some of the fun stuff like Queensryche. Some of my favorites are some of the blues acts. We're just starting to do a bunch of Johnny Lang.
Oh, cool.
We have some Albert King as well. I'm trying to think of another blues act.
How difficult is it to track down the multi-tracks, the stuff like that?
That's the hardest part about the whole thing.
Okay.
We've been developing the app for about 6 years. It started with Scott Humphrey, so he's running around and he's just hunting people down, trying to find tapes. Tapes are getting thrown out because studios are closing up, and it's just ridiculous because people will be throwing them away and they don't know what to do with them. They don't know who's even on them. So when we're going to look for tapes, sometimes they're in the worst condition, so we actually have to bake them and get the junk off the tape so they actually work again. And then we basically format them for the Jammit application.
Right.
So once they're in here, now we can hear them and they sound great and they work out. But we've been publicly working for 2 years now. This is our second year at NAMM, but the whole thing's been a couple of years to get it going at first.
So are there any particular multi-tracks that you've actually saved from probably disappearing for good?
Off the top of my head, I'm not too sure. I know some of the Mahavishnu Orchestra stuff was a little hard to find. That's some crazy stuff from the 60s. Billy Cobham's playing drums, and it's just ridiculous. But I know some of the Yes stuff was hard to find as well. It was actually a pretty popular album too. I think it was Fragile, and it was so hard to find the tapes for that. They're all over the place. Some cool stuff with Black Sabbath was they're going in, and we don't have Black Sabbath, but this is, for instance, people would be throwing out tapes because Ozzy would be writing in titles, but he wouldn't have the finished words for it. So people would be throwing them out because he'd be calling them like bollocks or just whatever. He did whatever he has in mind. So every time they had the session, he'd add some more lyrics and they'd be getting thrown out. So there's master tracks of like Sabbath stuff and no one knows where it is because it's just been tossed.
So, and on this screen here, we're on the mixer.
Yes.
So can you show me what the score looks like?
Sure, absolutely.
You can see if you can sight read, you can see what you're actually
like. So the sight readers, they're probably good enough to read notation.
Yeah.
But I'm a tab guy, so I always keep it on tab. I can see what's up. That's the way I've learned. I'm just a self-taught guitar player, so that's kind of my excuse. It's bad, but I've been doing it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Making it work.
Yeah, I think most people are tab guys, really.
Yeah.
So, say you've got 2 guitar parts, you can get separate tabs per guitar parts.
Absolutely. You can isolate both the guitars. So there's no guitar 2 in the intro. So if I go to the solo, I believe there'll be 2 guitars going. So there's the guitar. I think that is the solo. And then, oh no, sorry, that's where the solo drops out. So it looks like with Rush, they have 2 guitars in the verses and choruses, but once it gets to a solo, it's just bass, drums, and guitar.
And what you just did there with that menu, you can just go to a certain point and I assume you can loop it and just practice that.
You can navigate wherever you want. You can loop whatever bar you want too. It's all within this menu here. We have ours set to 2 bars for the performances all day. You can set it to different measures, and you can actually just loop the whole section. So if the whole section's hard, for instance, the solo is a good one to example, because you don't really want to just do a little phrase at the solo. You kind of want to get the whole thing to make it sound original, and well, not original, but make it sound nice and clean, like one whole performance. You don't want to cut a solo in half, really.
Fair enough.
But you can if you want.
Yeah. And what is planned for 2013? Have you got any new updates coming?
2013, we're just kind of bumping out the content as much as we can. We really want to get some bigger acts. There's been a little rumor. There's a video that we've been showing. It's Scott Humphrey talking to Eddie Kramer, and he's like whispering in the microphone about some artists that he wants us to get, and there's some big ones. So hopefully we can make that happen in a couple of years. Next year would be amazing. My mind would be blown.
I saw Eddie upstairs earlier, actually. Have you seen him around?
I didn't know he was here, so maybe I'll have to go try and hunt him down.
Yeah, he was at the Shaw microphones booth. So.
Right on. I met Kyle Gass from Tenacious D.
Cool, man.
That's my peak now.
Where was that?
He's at Clayton Guitar Picks.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny, dude. I asked him where he goes for his whole guitar teachings, and he's like, "Well, I went to the School of Hard Knocks." Okay.
All right, well, dude, thanks for talking to us.
Hey, no problem.
And best of luck for 2013. I hope you get some great content up.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
And guys at home, thanks for watching.